Hi students, in this class we are going to discuss fundamentals of procurement. In the previous class we discussed about principles of procurement. Now we are going to discuss about fundamentals of procurement. Okay, so as I recommend you every time, please go through the textbook. That is a major reference, Alan Turner, where we have shared the textbook with you already, and it is available in library also. So now coming to fundamentals of procurement, three essential fundamentals are mostly considered. These are how good, how soon, and how much. So whenever you are going to select a procurement or whenever you're going to select a property, you have to consider what is the expected quality of that, because the expected quality will change everything, and that is a major aspect which you need to decide on. What quality are you expecting? Then how soon it is. Like sometimes we may require it very urgently. For example, I'll give you the current example. If you see, for example, China need to construct maybe a 10 floors hospital to treat their corona affected people. So in that condition, time plays a major role. As we discussed in the previous class, there are three different type of triangles where what is preferred from that. Accordingly, there will be a change in the other aspects. For example, if the time is very less, so the quality and cost has to be compromised. The quality might be compromised and the cost be doubled or tripled according to the construction. So now, how soon it is, like time. So time plays a major role. Whether do you have sufficient time to construct it pleasantly, or do you need to plan various parallel activities, and you need to include a lot of man force and a lot of material resources and equipment. So it obviously increases the cost. So how much it is. So the same way, the major factor of one of the major factors, cost, will also decide the quality and time. So it is very important to decide on quality, time and cost, which can be say as how good, how soon and how much. Okay, so these are the three essential fundamentals to be considered, so while you decide on any product. So moreover, now coming to modern complex buildings, you can see here, now coming to modern complex buildings, it involves various factors such as commissioning, management, design and assembly of huge amounts of raw materials and the use of considerable labor resources over a long period of time. So I'll explain it in the next slide very clearly. So what is project commissioning? So project commissioning is like to assure that all systems and the components of a building are according to your plan, design, and whatever the systems you require are installed or not. So whatever the building components which you planned and designed are in a situation to operate and maintained as per the requirements of the client. So that to look after the project and make sure that everything is in position, that can be called as a project commissioning. Now coming to project management. So generally you might have heard this word, and you might be studying the same module parallelly. So project management, it simply involves, it's a practice to initiate and plan, execute, control. So like project management is to complete the work within the time, using the available resources within the optimum cost. This is the basic definition of any project management or any construction management. So where you need to submit the work which have separate goals and specific needs, submit the work at specified time. So this is what it is regarding the project management. The major two other aspects are design and assembly of huge amounts of raw materials, because you are going to deal with this, so you have to arrange a huge amount of raw materials and you have to plan and schedule the labor resources, because it's a whole project. You have to procure the labor resources over a long period of time. This is what the basic the three essential principles, fundamentals for a modern complex building involves. So now coming to clients. In this class we are majorly discussing about clients and who can be called as a client and what are the objectives of client and how client can be categorized according to general market principles and our practices. So coming to a client can be an individual, a client can be a group, a client can be a corporate body, or a client can be a public or private sector, or like something like a client can be any public government like any ministry. Those can be clients, or any public and private clients. So sometimes a client can be an owner, like who build for owner occupation. Like a client might have owner, and according to the owner requirement he might be building it. Or a client can be an investor, or a client can be a developer, or sometimes client act as an agent, or client can manage an agency for those who eventually occupy the building. For example, client might be working on behalf of someone who are not involved to deal this project, but they are ready to occupy the building or occupy the project. So they might act as agents or agencies, and this can be combination of the above. So any type of client you may face during any construction project. So now coming to what are the general objectives of client. So client may have different forms of objectives, and it depends upon the various nature and depends upon the nature of the client. As we discussed in the previous slide, the objectives of the client might be decided based on the type of the client he is, the type of the client. So the main objective of the client influence the choice of procurement path, because according to the type of client, according to the objective of the client, we may decide on the building procurement path. Therefore clients can be divided into 5 categories. So client can be divided into 5 categories. So these are the 5 categories here. Please try to remember, this is a very important topic where you need to understand and where you need to reflect on the understanding. You can see the property and development companies, investors, occupiers, local and central government authorities, and quangos. You can see here a client can be a development company, like property and development company, like who have their own property and they're developing for themselves, so they are self. Next, a client is like an investor, so who invest and later on sell the project or sell the product. The third one is he does not involve in any property or development or investment, he is ready to occupy the here. The fourth one is generally our ministries or any public or government authorities. Those are the fourth type of client. The first one, the next one, the last one is quangos. Quangos are generally called as a non-governmental organizations who are not exactly under the government, but those are who supported or funded by the government. So let us see who are they and what are they. So the first one is the property and development companies. So here they are here to make a product for sale. So they will arrange the all raw materials product and they sell it in market. So they may decide on the customer before the start of the project, or they may sell it later. So the customer they might be known the customer before, or they may sell it to anyone else later after the completion of the project. So sometimes these type of clients may sell the project before itself, or sometimes they may construct the project they may sell the project during the construction or during the design. It depends upon the immediate capital profit. And sometimes these type of clients keep the property with them and they give it for rental purpose, expecting more income in a long period of time. So there are no fixed rules actually. So but the property and development companies are such a type of client that they sell the product and make profit from that. Okay. So the next are investors. So investors are a bit different from them. So these people are, they're not going to keep this project with them, but they're going to have a direct financial gain, and they have some longer view and usually more concerned with the flow of income over an extended period of time. So they will invest on this after some duration or after a period of time, how much money they are going to get on this. So they invest and they get profit from this, they will get financial gain from this. So they involve in property development and they produce an income that will give them an adequate return on the capital invested. So you can read it. So the basic definition is, so they generally try to construct any product on multi-purpose usage rather than a single, because if they did not find this one, they go to another one. Because for example, if they are going to construct a building, they don't, if they have a agreed one, they'll construct it. If not, they construct it in such a way that it can be modified or remolded into any type. It can be a bank, it can be a shopping mall, it can be a movie theater, something like that. So they try to, they keep it in mind while developing this project that it should be multiple usage rather than a single particular usage. So they generally don't go with conventional means, which is generally in practice. So they don't go for unconventional practices or unconventional procurement methods. So the next people are occupiers. You can easily understand occupier means it is designed by someone, constructed by someone, invested by someone. So these people are not involved in any such activity and they are going to occupy the building and they are going to enjoy the property. So these people are best suited for their particular needs. So they are going to occupy the building according to, they're going to find out a building or identify the building according to their needs. So rather after that, so after they occupy, they may raise some profits from that. So sometimes like occupiers can be commercial or industrial companies, sometimes banks, sometimes any offices, sometimes any construction companies who just occupy the building and later on they will do their marketing activity or do their occupation in that building and they will get benefit from that. So here there is a risk for them, because if they decided to start their marketing or start their activity from such a time period but the building does not complete within the time, so they may have a problem in missing some opportunities. So as we discussed, local and central government authorities, so these are the people, these are the authorities who are constructing or taking this project for public interest and to support public and to give them some facilities. So these are generally, these ministries and all comes under local and central government authorities. And finally the people, these are called as quangos, which is quasi autonomous non-governmental organization. As I told you, these are partially controlled or financed by government bodies. So these are, they have different types of facilities officers or external clients becoming involved in this. So quangos may be principally interested in building procurement as owner occupies, but maybe tenants or become developers. So these are non-governmental organization. So this is the end of the presentation. So here you can see the textbook which I have shared with you already, which is Alan Turner. Okay, building procurement, Alan Turner. So this is this topic is from the first chapter, reasons for building. So we have discussed the three fundamentals. Then I came to clients here. You can see clients here. So where we discussed about 5 types of clients. You can see I have discussed about the 5 types of clients. So you can read about these 5 types of clients in the next 5 pages. Okay. So let us meet in the online session for discuss further. Thank you.